Welcome to the Task Force of External Borders meeting. I don't know how many meetings we have had, quite a lot. It started in year 2007. And those who don't know how the task forces work, we don't have a budget from AEBR. So usually we work only in English because interpretation costs. We are more like a network. So the people who are sort of members of task force, they vary by each event. If there is event in Greece, then there are a lot of people from Greece and the neighboring countries, and so on. Okay, let's go to the agenda. I think I will have a short presentation myself at the beginning about ESPON research project and the situation at the northern external borders. But I would like to already now ask people who are making presentations. So Nataliya is somewhere here. Gavkalova, please come and take a seat. Maybe the next one here. And then Kitty from CESCI. Please take a seat. And then maybe we combine, because there are so many seats, that do we have here Mr. Todd Hatterley from Canada? Out? Okay, he's not coming. Okay. Then we have 3 more seats, and already now those people who are planning to present the situation of cross-border cooperation in your own region, please. Raise your up. Are there any volunteers? Nobody wants to have. Pamela, you should tell about the Irish-UK border, please. Because we have really different, these days we have really different external borders in Europe. Big differences. I don't see my presentation, and I might not remember it if I'm so up here, so I will move a little bit. But please take the seat. I'll come here at the floor. Okay. You must all know that the situation at the eastern external borders, especially in the north part, neighboring Russia and Belarus, has had a dramatic change. And I want to bring out some of the changes in some fields of cooperation, and being an official myself, the CPC programs are one major thing which especially touch my own organization, because we were managing the Southeast Finland Russia CPC. And in CPC programs, the previous programming period continued, of course, a couple of years, but they are now closed. And it has left us to a situation that the next program, which is now running in many regions, doesn't exist, and we have to put out stuff. So most of the people who were working for the program lost their jobs. Some we were able to employ. And the money, there was some money already reserved for the current CBC. And the national money, the government just kept it. for other purposes, and the EU money was transferred to Interreg Baltic Sea, Central Baltic program, which has some benefits, but it's not quite, it's not constructed and created thinking of borders which are not at the seaside. So we are a little bit excluded. The networking was constructed horizontally, so it was during the decades the focus was on east-west cooperation, this direction. So there were a lot of connections and projects and business and so on. So almost every field of life. And suddenly the borders are now closed for all human traffic in Finland, partly in Baltic countries. And the situation is that we have to make new networks. And AEBR has been a help in this, of course, because this is a continuation. The CBC programs provided funding for investments, so there were large infrastructure projects. LIP was the abbreviation, and they the money was put, for example, to make the roads to the border with Russia more wide. We had the similar truck lines you saw here in Norway-Sweden border. The peak was about 10 years ago there. So the brakes were breaking because the road sides, because of the trucks, wanted to give space for other traffic. And in the worst cases, for example, Red Cross provided some water and food for the truck drivers who had to stay, for example, 1 week queuing, and they didn't have enough liquid with them or food. But the situation is now that there is some traffic, mainly it's by railway, not personal traffic, but cargo, those materials which are not restricted by sanctions. And did I press? Okay, I pressed. Safety and security is not at all included in the Interreg programs, which are in the Baltic Sea region, the Baltic Sea program and Central Baltic. They are not there. Prepayment procedure, we had this in CBC program, so the small organizations could benefit the CBC programs, but this is not existing in current Interreg programs. But maybe the most important is the trust and faith for the future. We saw in the Baltic or the Scandinavian cooperation, this was a key issue here to make fruitful cooperation. And now we don't have so much trust for the future. And that's a pity. Because in principle, Karelians are very gayful people. They want to, when there is all the time when the war ended, they made a fiesta and between some breaks in the war and wherever. So there is even a proverb that we would make joy even though the heart rottens. This is very old proverb in Karelia. Okay, then well, maybe I will not go to this list of Zanebo-Espon project so thoroughly because in the next session there is a presentation of Zanebo. But anyway, key issues or backgrounds on the new cooperation and new tendencies are security, social tensions. The transport corridors were constructed totally differently than we now need. The corridors more towards the southern part of Europe or central part of Europe. There are some economical disadvantages. The trade used to be more across the border than nowadays. Also, there's not so much trust to make investments, for example, in tourism, because tourism was also based quite largely to the Russian tourists, and so there is a loss of visitors. There is this refugee situation which is common with us. We want to make ourselves more strong against vulnerabilities, the harmful effect caused by our neighbor, the hybrid warfare, and disinformation. Okay, I will not go very fast, but next session there will be more about the Espon-Zanebo research project, which is at the first steps now. But this is also the main tendency in future cooperation, creating new contacts. But it's not the only thing. We of course are open to other countries too, and not only the region. Our university, for example, is working quite widely. And the motives of this research are, maybe I mentioned many of them already in the background issues, but we need to have certain things from the future, and this means the programming period starting from 2028. So we could include the things which are important for us: safety and security, possibility for investments, and a new kind of partnership building. This is not a priority in the current programs because it was thought that is already done in the Baltic Sea, two Baltic Sea programs, and it's not promoted anymore. But we are quite new in the program and we need that. Research cooperation is not a priority in current Interregs, and also the totally different orientation in geographically. And the new president of European Commission, of course, she made many letters and many intentions, but one of them was a text which warms at least heart that I would. It was for Raffaello Fitto, the commissioner or vice president, executive vice president for cohesion and reforms, that I would like you to work on providing support on eastern border regions most affected by Russia's aggression to address their specific challenges and support them in the reorientation of their local economy. Okay, I will not go to Zanebo more. That would be later on. But just to mention that there is also a national research project. OECD is executing it, and it is using the TSC funding, and it's applied by our ministry in Finland, Ministry of Economic Affairs and Employment. OECD is then executing it, and all the regions which are at the border with Russia, or at least border program, CPC programs used to be these regions, they are involved here. Okay. That's from myself. The idea is not only to present the Finnish or Baltic countries' situation, but we will talk more widely on the external borders, especially eastern external borders of Europe. So maybe we give our Ukrainian member and friend Nataliya the next floor. Please, Nataliya. Do you have slides?
Okay.
You have slides?
Should I? I don't understand. Now. Oh.
It's like this.
It's like. Can you help me? Oh. Okay. I hope. Oh. Yes. Thank you very much. Dear colleagues, dear friends, thank you very much for invitation. I was a little bit nervous because I didn't expect to be here in this not plenary but a very important session. Yes, I'm the representative of Ukraine, and I'm the representative of the Euroregion Slobozhanщина, but this Euroregion doesn't exist at all. Starting with 2014, our Euroregion, before 2014, we had the problem because I am from Kharkiv. Kharkiv is near the other city of country's aggression, and Kharkiv and Belgorod, the distance between our cities is near 60 kilometers, a little bit more. So on the one hand, it's impossible to understand what can I say about cooperation, why I can present this Euroregion. But we, together with my colleagues, we decided to change the content of our Euroregion borders and to change the directions, to change our core, and now we try to realize everything that we can. I will explain the peculiarities of our activity today, and I will attract your attention that really we continue to live, and not only we continue to live in Kharkiv, we continue to work. For example, I work at the university, Kharkiv National University, Kushnetz, Kharkiv National University of Economics, and we continue to teach our students online, and we continue to realize Euroregion movement, but in the other way and in the other directions. But some a little bit information about our Euroregion and about me, not about me, but about our activities in AEBR. First of all, these three persons. The first, Edward Seromolot, he was the first who presented the Euroregion in AEBR. I don't remember what year, but it was the beginning of maybe 2005, because I don't remember the first visit of Edward to the assembly. But I remember this day, and I remember that my first visit and my first participation at the annual assembly, it was in 2013 in Liège. I got acquainted with the majority of people, and really I was very honored, because this event was very interesting, and I realized that starting with 2013, I would be, as the member of AEBR and the part of my scientific research will be realized as the frame of AEBR or influence of under the influence of AEBR movement in my university. Yes, of course, I am the head of the department, and the first name of the department was regional economy. So the problems of Euroregions, this problem was very actual, and because of our active position, because of the university, because the university is economic university. First of all, Martin Guillermo Ramirez, he visited the university, and he signed the vice rector and Martin Guillermo Ramirez, the general secretary. They signed the agreement, and the information center of AEBR was implemented at the university, in Ukrainian university in Kharkiv, the first information center. We realized our activity, and every year we took part at the assemblies. We realized our different visits. We presented our something new in territorial cooperation in Ukraine. We took part in different. We took part in Dresden, in Rzeszów, in annual conferences, assemblies, and the last meeting I took part, and I presented the results of our work was in Uzhhorod. So we continue to be very active in spite of our Euroregion our Euroregion doesn't exist. What about the information center? Yes, of course, the information center was opened in 2013, and amount of this function, we try to be the center of project activity, because we involve the students, our colleagues from different fields, and we involve the projects. We informed our colleagues from the AEBR about our project initiative, and we formed the information database of territorial and cross-border cooperation, and of course development of multi-level, multilateral partnership and improvement of cooperation mechanism. How I will present the next slides. What about scientific part, or the other side? I started with the university with my position. Why? Because we tried to realize what we can. For example, I can realize my scientific research, and yes, of course, I included in my scientific research different questions on the territorial or Euro-regional movement activities. And Edward Sramolot, I presented his photo on the first slide. Now he is my postgraduate student, and he worked with doctoral thesis on territorial development and Euro-regional peculiarities in Ukraine. How can he realize this goal? Of course, with the help of analysis of experience, because there were 10 Euro-regions in Ukraine, but now 4 Euro-regions don't work at all and will not exist, we understand. But we have the best, we have success Euro-region, not only worst, but the best. So we continue to analyze and to realize our scientific research on analysis, and we continue to write the articles, monographies, and to take part in the different projects on territorial development. For example, my last project is landscape development and circular economy, together with my colleagues from European Union, and with the help of such kind of project, we can create our knowledge and experience in AEBR movement or in Euro-regional movement and our scientific research. And the next slide, they demonstrate a little bit documents about the history, but not only a scientific part, or not only these documents. First of all, I started with our activity. Now we cannot be active because it's impossible on the one hand, but on the other hand, we continue to help to solve the problems together with our partners from Kharkiv, as a city, from the regions. For example, here you can see the last events, the cooperation between us and Myrifyansky City Council, when Martin Guillermo Ramirez visited Kharkiv. He visited Merefa, a small city or town Merefa, and he saw that this town was very active. Different projects, different activities, United territorial communities, this territory is very active, really. So with the help of this slide, we can present that we continue to work with different representatives of different territories, near Kharkiv, for example, and in different fields, because the next slide will demonstrate our communication together with the tourism department, and you will see the general information, because really before my report, before the creation of this presentation, I considered what can I demonstrate. Yes, of course, I can demonstrate a lot of such kind of buildings. For example, you can see the museum, Grigory Skovoroda Museum. You can see this museum on the right side. On the left side, you can see different. You can see Palace of the Culture in Lazovaya near Kharkiv. You can see Izum, it's a small city near Kharkiv. And the other pictures, yes, of course, you can find and I can demonstrate. But I would like to pay attention not only for this fact, but that we continue to realize our efforts and continue to propose different programs, continue to struggle against aggression and to try to finish this war with the help of different activity. You can see the example of activity of our Department of Tourism, and we signed the agreement with the head of this department, touristic department of Kharkiv. And with the help of this activity, you can see that the process of reconstruction, yes, of course, we dream about post-war reconstruction of Ukraine, but the process of reconstruction we started. And with the help of the activity of these people, you can see that even now we try to help not only people, but to help to create, to reconstruct. For example, here you can see the extract of Skovoroda National Literary Memorial Museum and the activity of people. What about here you can see the continuation of our photo or our activities, because we were together with Valentina Holodok. She is the head of touristic department. We were in UNESCO, and she presented I presented together with her. We presented the results of our activity, because before this data there were two big negative events, and before the museum of Skovoroda, or Grigory Skovoroda Museum was broken, so we attract the attention from the participants in Paris, and because of this we began to take part in a big project on reconstruction during the war, not only after the war, and I demonstrated the result or the activity. What about the vision of planning the activity of the center? First of all, it is very difficult, because I explained that this Euro-region cannot be the normal Euro-region in our vision, but we try to develop scientific cooperation because of the dissertation, because of the doctoral thesis, because of the different articles, because of the cooperation together with our colleagues. We hope that our ideas and our experience will be taken into account and will be useful, the first. The second, of course, participation in European Union project, because this participation can help us to involve financial resources and intellectual capital, social capital. Process of creation can be realized together with our partners. For example, I was invited at the conference Oxford, and the title of this conference was After War Reconstruction in Ukraine, and during my presentation I shared the information about my membership in AEBR and about our activities. For example, that's all, the last slide. And development operation living and the last, our idea is operation of the living laboratory of the development of territories, communities and regions for modeling the development of functional type of territories and functional space of territorial cooperation. This laboratory will be open at the department on the basis of information center of AEBR. And the last slide with our contact. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for your help, for your support. And if you have any questions, I will answer this question. If not, only thank you very much, because I'm sure that together with you, together with your support, together with you understand this situation, the war will finish, and the Ukraine will be a new country with the high level of prosperity. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Nataliya. We saw some slides that the situation in Ukraine, especially near the Russian border, is even worse than, than here in the northern part of Europe. But also, I could interpret this presentation so that our Ukrainian partners are really willing and eager to make contacts, make cooperation with other AEBR regions here in Europe. And I also want to refer that yesterday with Martin Guillermo, we were talking about how cross-border cooperation nowadays should be taken, because we are now working in a very digital world, and even AEBR has remote meetings. We are working from homes with remote connections. So maybe the very stiff interpretation of cross-border cooperation is not valid anymore, that the neighbor should be just next the border, but cross-border cooperation really should occur in a more wide extent. Okay, next speaker is, I hope I tell your family name right, Kitty Dubnitsky,
yeah.
Right? From CESCI, which is an organization which is dedicated to cross-border research on cross-border cooperation. So please, Kitty.
Okay. Thank you, Janis, and dear colleagues. Thank you for the opportunity to take part in this workshop. In the next few minutes, I will talk about our activities in the field of Ukraine's European integration. And then a short video message will be played from our Secretary General Gyula Ocskay and from a doctor from Uzhhorod. The Central European Services for Cross-Border Initiatives, the CESCI, started intensively working at the Ukrainian-Hungarian border in 2015. That was when we offered our assistance to establish a new EGTC, the first one in the European Union involving a third country member. This was the TISA EGTC, established by one Hungarian region, one Hungarian municipality, and the Transcarpathian Regional Council from Ukraine. In the following years, we drafted the development strategy of this new EGTC and supported their capacity building. We also participated in activities targeting legal harmonization in Ukraine regarding cross-border institutionalized cooperation. And in this respect, we cooperated with the National University of Uzhhorod, the National Academy of Science in Ukraine, and the Council of Europe. Together with our Ukrainian partners, we delivered several analyses and studies and supported the preparation of the new legal act enabling the setup of EGTCs with Ukrainian partners. At this point, I have to highlight that in 2015, we used the loophole to facilitate the registration of this EGTC, the TISA EGTCs. But nowadays, Ukraine has a steady legal background for the groupings with, meeting the highest European standards. In 2020, we signed a strategic cooperation agreement with the above-mentioned university and the academic, and kicked off the project involving experts from the Visegrad countries. And this project envisaged systemic joint work to promote the legal harmonization of Ukraine for a stronger cross-border cooperation and the transfer of experience of the Visegrad countries. We are convinced that the cross-border cooperation is a key factor during the accession process in terms of transferring knowledge and experience with European procedures, rules, policies, and values. Unfortunately, this process and the implementation of the project was disrupted by the Russian aggression against the sovereign Ukraine. Accordingly, we requested the International Visegrad Fund to amend our contract, and with their consent, we used the remaining budget of our project for humanitarian aid. In addition to participating in several projects to promote the development of the Ukrainian border area, we are keeping our contact with all of our partners. And today, Gyula Ocskay, Secretary General of CESCI, cannot attend to this conference, in this workshop, because he is taking part in a workshop at the National University of Uzhhorod, which is again about cross-border governance. So we are preparing ourselves for the joining of Ukraine to the European Union in the near future, and we are ready to support it with full commitment. And at the same time, we would like to help the Ukrainian people as we can, and this is what the following video is about. So please play this.
Dear colleagues and friends, as everyone knows, the Russian aggression against the sovereign Ukraine has dramatically changed the conditions for cooperation, for cross-border and territorial cooperation, not only between Russia and Ukraine, but also along the eastern borders of the European Union. We don't know how the situation can be improved between the two countries, but we are convinced that the solution is Ukraine's accession to the European Union. And it is the reason why I cannot attend today the AEBR's annual event in Trusil. We have a joint project together with our Ukrainian, Slovak, Polish and Czech partners, through which we would like to facilitate cross-border cooperation, improve cross-border cooperation, and to facilitate the joining of Ukraine to the European Union. But it is a medium-term objective. We are now facing in Ukraine very strong challenges regarding the treatment of wounded soldiers. Today we are in Uzhhorod, which is the center of the least developed region of Ukraine. This is Transcarpathia. And 1 year ago, we collected the needs of the hospitals located within this region in order to assist their treatment challenges or treatment tasks. You know that not only it is the least developed region within Ukraine, but before the war started, The total population of this region numbered to 1.2 million. Now there are more than 3 million people living in this region, which puts a very big push and stress to the whole healthcare system of the region. You know, almost 3 times more people should be treated in the same hospitals with the same equipment. And as you can see and you will hear from the next interview, this hospital where we are now has treated more than 2,000 wounded soldiers coming back from the front line. You know, these are the epaulets which justifies that these soldiers were treated here. And the hospitals need our assistance. Not money, but equipment. At the link, which will be shared with you by my colleague on the spot, you can find the list of the machines, the diagnostic equipment that these hospitals are needed. So please help the Ukrainian people not only through weapons, but also through medical aid. Thank you.
A legnagyobb probléma mostan ez a háború. Mindenki ismeri, tudja, érzi és látja. A kórház kezelte a katonákat az első világháborúban, a második világháborúban, és mostan, amikor megy a háború az oroszokkal. Van nekünk körülbelül olyan statisztika, hogy a 2,5 év háború, kezeltünk már több mint 2000 katonát, sebesültet. A kórház, megyei kórház kezeli az összes betegeket, akik vannak a megyébe. Sajnos mostan sokan jöttek hozzánk, akik áttelepültek a helyekbe, ahol van a háború, nálunk laknak. Ha mondani, Kárpátalján lakott 1.250.000 ember, akkor ezt mostan lehet háromszor összerakni. És ezzel függve a betegek is több lett a beteg, és mi ezt mindent muszáj vagyunk mostan előselni és kezelni. Sok szükségünk van mindenbe, valamit tudtunk ezekben az években szerezni, de nagyon akarném, hogy segítsenek nekünk az ultrahang eszközökkel, a laparoszkop eszközökkel, ami nekünk van, de sajnos már kell újítani. És általában eszközök, amik hozzáfüggnek ezek eszközök elkezelésre.
So, thank you for watching this video, and if you have any opportunity, you or your region or your network, then do not hesitate and check our website. Oh, could you, excuse me. So check our website or contact us, and we will help you to get in touch with the right person from this hospital. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Kitty. Yes, I also believe that sending equipment is not only needed there, but it's also more safe way to provide help than giving money, because there is always a possibility for corruption. And the equipment and CESCI is there next to Ukraine, and reliable organization, and they quite frequently meet Uzhhorod people, so this help can more easily be delivered through CESCI. I hope also maybe the Facebook page group of task force may get the link.
I will share with you.
Link, so people get it also after this event. Okay. By the way, I was personally in 2022 June delivered to the border of Poland and Ukraine hospital equipment by a request of Elena Itani, who was quite often in AEBR meetings some years ago, and she told that the military hospital, Central Military Hospital in Kiev needed diathermical coagulators. And I didn't even know what they were until I made a search and then contacted. And it was more easy to get help. The attitudes of people in year 22 were more positive, and so I could deliver 6 equipment there with a friend. We drove to the border, and then we didn't enter Ukraine, but we could deliver through the Polish colleagues this equipment. Okay, not more about this. I think Kitty will tell more during the next break. But maybe we go to maybe a more easier border, but you surely have your own issues. And is everything going very fluently, or are there any things to improve with the border of Ireland and North Ireland, UK? So CEO Pamela Atros, East Border Regions. So please.
Colleagues, you'll be aware that Johannes basically asked me to come up here right now.
You don't have slides.
Apologies, I haven't got.
Need a microphone.
Oh, microphone. Yeah. Okay. Is that it? Okay. So apologies that I haven't got something more structured to say. I must admit that I'm humbled to share the stage with colleagues here, and yes, certainly in Ireland, Northern Ireland, currently we do not have the issues that our colleagues unfortunately are experiencing. However, we do have a past, a violent past, which is recent. So we have been there, we have dealt with the issues. I personally live in Northern Ireland on the border region, which suffered extensively during our political problems. My colleague, Councillor Alan Madole, is also from Northern Ireland, and again, we would have witnessed. And I suppose the message coming from ourselves is there is always hope. You know, things will eventually improve. Going through extremely difficult situations, we have experienced bombing, etc., in our hometowns, you know, in the past, but we have come through that. We never take anything for granted. There is a saying with us in our border region, cross-border cooperation isn't easy. Sometimes you think things are going well, you've taken a number of steps forward, and then something hits you, as has been demonstrated by my colleagues. Our big issue, as you all know, we're a reluctant third country because Brexit happened to us. Again, it now pales into comparison in the scale of things, but for us, that was major. For us, who living on the border in Northern Ireland, having worked extensively across the European Union with our European partners, the fact that we were being dragged out of the European Union for many of us was a major blow. And again, at that time, we did not know how this would progress. And we thought, are we perhaps going to fall off the edge of a cliff? And thankfully, that didn't happen. But again, listening to Johannes and, you know, some of our colleagues, that did happen. cross-border cooperation ceased immediately with the war for you. And I mean, having thought that might happen us, I can understand fully, how difficult that is. People losing their jobs, all of the things that you talk about was something we faced the prospect, but we've dealt with it. And I think a reason that we've dealt so well with it is because our partners in Europe, across the AEBR, were all supportive of Northern Ireland throughout that process. So we are now sitting, and again, I feel guilty in one way of saying that, because our border is still open. We worried about a hard border. We don't have it. Our borders didn't close during the pandemic. You still were able to cross. You were advised not to, but there were no barriers, because we have had experience of what road closures and border closures do to people. So we weren't going there. Thankfully, we weren't going there. So we're now in a situation where we still have a large, what's called a Peace Plus programme, but in effect it's Interreg. It's a former Peace, which is, the Peace programme is unique to us in Ireland, Northern Ireland, because of our political problems and issues, and it's to help us with moving forward and with the peace process. The plus element now is new, and that's the traditional Interreg type activity. We always had a clear separation over the last 25 years between peace and Interreg. Now Peace Plus is the combination of the two, and all of the programmes have to demonstrate some form of peace building. And I think that's for the good as well. That is a 1.1 billion programme across a number of investment areas. So I certainly feel extremely privileged and lucky to be part of that programme and to be drawing down monies from that programme. I do know, and even in our recent, we were in Brussels recently, and I do know that the emphasis is certainly moving on to, working in, with yourselves in the future. And, certainly from our perspective, I think in Ireland, Northern Ireland, we can assist in terms of how do you work yourself out of this situation, and hopefully you will be, peace building very soon. But I think I'll just leave it at that, Johannes. Our border is open, thankfully, and I certainly feel we don't have the extreme difficulties that unfortunately some of you have. But thank you for allowing me to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela. I had also a peace program in my mind already before your speech, that it surely is a good model for future Russia-Belarus operation, but maybe many people they don't want to think about it at this stage. But we don't know. Maybe after 10 years, or there will be a time when this is actual, but we don't see it now.
Yeah.
I also had some thoughts of the opening session speech. There was a question about what makes the regions here in Scandinavia work so well together. And people were asked, and I didn't get the one thing which was in my mind is that if there is the social background, maybe also legal background, the society is maybe it's not the same, but there are some bases, some characters. It makes the joint work, joint cooperation more easier. But just maybe a week ago, there was one small boy in Ukraine in television, and he was interviewed, and he thought that before war, he thought that Russians and Ukrainians are like brothers. But seems like it's not so. And maybe the official attitude in Ukraine is that you are very much different. But when you are looking it from outside, you have a very much similar. If you have been in dinner in Russia and Ukraine, the procedures, the speeches, the toasts are the same, and in many other way too. But leaders can make a really big mess. So they can make people and a nation which are neighbors and used to be like brothers, a total enemy and Nazi. This is something incredible that this is happening. So in a cross-border cooperation level, we cannot too much influence on the top political leaders of the country, but we can work on the basis on the conditions which are given. And even after 2012, when there was the conflict in eastern Ukraine, some Ukrainian people asked, how can we now make cross-border cooperation after, for example, the government is not allowing travel to the other country? There is not funding. The funding cannot be used. At least government-funded bodies couldn't do it. And my answer was that you are not far away. You go there, you have a cup of coffee together, discuss, keep the connections. And when the times are better, you have a more faster start. But at the moment, even this is not possible. So situation is very hard. But luckily, if we think about Ukraine-EU cooperation, we have Ukrainians like Nataliya, who is here now in the EU territory. So you can facilitate the connections like you did here today. Okay, I will not continue. I would like to ask if somebody has some questions, or we don't have this system, but I think we have microphone. So if you want to ask or comment or argue or whatever, or tell some news from your own border region. If not, we do something exceptional, or the panelists, do you have anything? Yeah, we do exceptional, and we start the break early.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Thank you.